Hello, beautiful and exotic women of the world. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are discussing the psychological warfare of copycat women, mimicking women, mirroring women who are deeply insecure and try to hijack your star, or in other words, your destiny. Something off the rip that I want to mention too is a lot of times women who behave like this and who look at other women as basically tools to get them to their next level, they are always notoriously social climbing, but not in a good way. I'm talking about women who want to social climb to get into spaces that they don't necessarily belong in or don't really align with them. They only want to social climb if it means that they can compete with the women who they are triggered by. They only want to be in those spaces because they perceive the women in those spaces to be better than them, to be more exciting, more interesting, and more of a fulfilled woman. So we're going to really dismantle how calculated these women are and how they use mimicry because of their insecure to siphon or dilute your natural magnetism. So a lot of times them siphoning your energy, your essence, your personality traits, the random things about you that make you you, like your hobbies, your mannerisms, they will mimic and copy everything down to your bones. Okay, if they could copy your blood type, they would. So by weaponizing silence and refusing to react, we really can neutralize these women and these types of people who attempt to mirror you in order to steal your destiny, steal your star, and just make you go into hiding so that you basically forfeit your life, essentially. So something I noticed is that people who like to absorb your personality, your style, your essence, their only way to siphon you or to take your energy is to have some type of access to you, whether that be knowing your business, having you on social media and being able to watch what you do all the time and go back to your page and go back to see, oh, what did she wear? Oh, how did she pose? What face did she make in this selfie? And how can I utilize this for my own social climbing, for my own social acceptance, and to also make her feel like she's not doing it better than me. Basically taking what you have naturally and trying to manufacture it into their own and then initiating you into a one-sided competition. That's what these women do. They literally take your essence and your aura, everything that you have, everything that you are, and they try to bioengineer it into their own and then say, look, she's copying me. Look, she's the one mimicking me. It's a very strange and it's all psychological. It's like a reverse psychology thing. And something to keep in mind too, ladies, is that a lot of times these women will, again, approach you in a very friendly way. It'll seem like they admire you or like you, but then something very sinister happens. You don't even see it happen. And it's this switch from being inspired or admiring you to calculated harvesting of your unique aesthetic. This could be your intellectual property, your artistic style, your fashion sense, just your creative side, whatever it is that you shine brightly with. These people will admire it, and then the pipeline from admiring to harvesting becomes so evident and so real. A lot of times these people will signal to you that they are threatened by you, they're insecure, and that they are trying to harvest your life force or harvest your destiny with little micro behaviors like mirroring you and copying you. This is something I have dealt with my entire life, ladies, and it can be very exhausting when you are a person that was maybe bullied or mistreated for being yourself. You know, you grew up with a lot of shame around being who you are. People treated you differently. People didn't want to be friends with you or unfriended you because of your quirkiness, because of your creative side, because you were just different, right? And so when you grow up and you grow into who you're meant to be and you become this really cool girl, because we all know that the people who were bullied and mistreated and looked down upon when they were younger usually turn out to be the hot girl, the cool girl, the girl that has a lot of creative amazing things going on in her life and is very multidimensional and multifaceted. And these are the people that usually drive a lot of creative spaces. They're creative directors, they're marketing people, they're in communications, they're in tech, they're in fashion, they're in all these different spaces, and they're moving the needle forward, and they're also doing a lot of things in their own lives. And something I noticed is when you go from being overlooked, mistreated, judged, and misunderstood to being cool, to being hot, to being interesting, it's almost like people are like, whoa, how did she go from being isolated and being counted out to now being the one that's like on top. And the sick thing about this is people will mimic you and copy you after you have become comfortable in your weirdness, in your quirkiness, in the things that make you different, right? The things that people used to say are strange about you or weird about you are now your superpower, and it's what makes you money. It's what's made you successful in business. It's what made you shine in social media and in content creation, right? Basically, they're taking from the fruits of your labor, right? They're taking from the hard work and the dedication that it took to become who you are now. They are siphoning from that finished product. They don't know what it took for you to become who you are now. They don't know what it took for you to stand up after you've been knocked down and after people have come for you and people have teased you and made fun of you and bullied you for being who you are. And now it's like you've grown up, you've come into who you are, you're comfortable with being the weird girl because that ultimately is what makes you cool and what makes you stand out and what makes you different. And now here come the people who lack identity, the people who were doing the bullying, the people who were doing the isolating and the mistreating, and they want to siphon and profit off of your finished product. How does that even make sense? Like when we unpack that, it's like it's crazy to think about how you spent your whole life doubting who you were because people told you that you were doing it wrong. You weren't good enough. You were weird. You were strange. You were this. You were that. Or people just simply kept their distance from you because they were threatened by you and they wanted you to not like yourself because you were different from them. It's just crazy how that pipeline from disliking you to copying you is like, it's crazy. And then also the pipeline from admiring you for being different, but then also ultimately just becoming someone who does not like you because you are who you are is crazy. So copycats need proximity. They need access to you in order to try to initiate you into a one-sided competition. This is why I am notorious for cutting people off. I don't care how long I've known you. I don't care how many times we've hung out, if we are good acquaintances, if we are close friends. The second I start to realize and I wake up to the fact that you lack identity, I'm triggering insecurity in you, and you're trying to initiate me into a competition with you, I'm going to cut you off without explanation. I've seen people crash out. I'm talking about crash dummy over me cutting them off and not giving them an explanation. And these were people who were trying to swap lives with me, swap energies with me. When I say swap energies, I mean they were jealous of me and then want me to be jealous of them type of thing. I have seen people like very much so tell on themselves without telling on themselves when I remove myself. Why is it that when I remove myself and I have no explanation for you, you're running me down, you're sending me paragraphs, you're sending your friends to come check on me and see why I cut you off? You're making it very clear and obvious that you were doing something that you shouldn't have been doing, which was mimicking me, copying me, and mirroring me. And you want me to basically entertain a conversation so you can try to save your ass. I'm not interested in having a conversation after I've decided and I've come to the realization that you are a mimicking spirit and that you are here to distract me and deter me from my path. That's another thing, ladies, you have to understand. People who do this type of stuff, they simply just want you to forfeit your destiny and get distracted. I can't tell you how many months and years I have been knocked off of my pivot, unfortunately, because of people who were trying to siphon me, who were trying to destiny swap with me, and who were mimicking me constantly. It used to send me into like almost like a internal rage because I'm like, why am I feeling these things from these people, but they're doing it in a very covert way. They're still acting like they like me. They're still acting like they're my friend, but every little thing I do, they're copying down to the face I make in a selfie video. It is crazy, some of the things that I have experienced and seen from women who want access to me, who want to be close to me, who want to know me, who want to follow me on social media, who want to have access to me socially, who also at the same time lack identity, don't like me deep down because I'm authentic, and want to then copy and mimic every little thing I do. They're doing it so that they can look innocent while you're the one that's picking up on all of the attacks. So that if you react, they can say, hey, look, see, she's the jealous one. She's mad because I'm cute and I'm this and I'm that and this and that and the other, right? You cannot give these people a reaction. Block and delete. Unfollow and delete. Deny access, remove your energy, and once they are removed from your vicinity, it's almost like out of sight, out of mind, like they are dead to you. And I love that about cutting people off. It's like, once I remove this person, you are literally cut off from my life. I don't think about you copying me or trying to make it seem like my life that I cultivated, that people used to take dumps on and tell me I was weird for, is now trying to mimic everything I do. I don't have to deal with you trying to make it seem like my life is yours for the taking, because you want to siphon me and you think that my destiny is so interesting and so cool that you think that it's up for the taking. I don't have to put up with that. Neither do you, ladies. That's why we have unfollow buttons. That's why we have blocks. That's why we have deletes. Because the second someone violates you or crosses a line or thinks that they're going to continue to initiate you into a competition, you take your power back by hitting those buttons. Okay? So ladies, drop down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on mimicking spirits, women who tend to mirror you in the attempt for you to forfeit your destiny and your star. I'd love to hear your stories down below. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.